Okay, let's talk about the driving experience of the Ford Mustang Mach E. And again, this car is California Route 1 and it has 312 miles of range. But first of all, let's start that, the driving experience of the Mach E is simply amazing. And, the how you can control the car and how it accelerates. And if anybody's familiar about the electric car torque and experience could the understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, there are so many more cars around in the market, but I think that Mach E is one of the best because it's so well built, and you will feel that that the Ford been around as a manufacturer for the ever. And you will feel these in every segment of this car. So this car has the three modes. If you go and right now we're driving unbridled, which is the very sensitive, so you push it and you simply fly. And beside that, this car has whisper. So whisper is like a more like a, let's say, eco mode, equivalent. Besides, they have engage. So if I click the engage, so this kind of gives you like the more like a sensitive experience, more, little more, acceleration, and just a I call it like a regular mode. It is like a regular mode that this car is capable of. As soon as you pick the unbridled, you will feel it immediately because of like even I don't know, it's my personal thing, but even steering wheel kind of the response differently. Also, it sort of has like the the brake is way more sensitive, and acceleration is like a mind blowing. So you can simply feel like a sports car, real sports car. Now let's talk about the how you know sensitive is this car as a what's a driving experience. So this is a little sporty feeling car, and you will feel it every time you will go little bumpy roads. And even if you will go little not non-freeway, let's say the roads where you are just driving around, you will feel every single line or every single bump of the road. And that's sort of like the sporty looking, little rough feeling, I'm sorry. But I wouldn't say it's a really big downside of this car, because if you want a sports car, you have a sports car, and it's sort of that's a feeling of the sports car. It definitely doesn't feel like a the Lexus, or some big SUVs that you are just sitting and driving it like a ship. So when you turn, this gonna you can't even feel it. But here you feel pretty much everything. But car responsiveness. Let's talk about the car. How responsive is this car? What's how steering wheel responds to it. It's very responsive. So it doesn't have the any any loop, let's say. So every time you little turn, car responds. So we might talk about a little later, but who is this car for? Well, this car is for for everybody. I mean, who likes really the good, responsive, torquey, and luxury car. So inside, and let me turn because it's kind of sun is really bad here. So let's turn here, go to the parking lot, and do the U-turn. So this car is pretty much for everybody, but here's the pros and cons of owning the Mach E. So depends. Let's say you're driving regular miles, and this car has a range, pretty good range, so you can simply drive the 112, 312, sorry, and 311, somewhere there. So the range is pretty good, and it always gives you whatever it says to you. The Ford is very conservative about, the giving you the range estimation, and I simply pretty much always achieving. Uh, the depends how you drive, obviously. If you're driving unbridled, and if you're really kind of heavy, you know, pedal, then yeah, you might get a little, the lower mileage. But mileage is not a problem. However, let's say this is a pretty expensive car. So let's say a few weeks ago, the Ford, like, it dropped the prices a little bit, so it's not $65,000 anymore, or 66. It's kind of around like a 59, $60,000. But still, plus taxes, and the fees and registration, everything, it's pretty expensive in total. So now the question is that how much miles you want to add it. So if you're driving about 100 miles a day, and you really kind of really need like a working horse car, it's obviously up to you, but you should understand that you are really, really decreasing the value of the car by putting a lot of miles on it. And I personally, that drive a lot every day, so almost like 150, 200 miles. And after driving for like 3, 4 months, and I put like a 13,000 miles on it, like in the first 3, 4 months, I realized that I'm kind of killing the value of this car. And do I want to do that? Or maybe I want to do like I want to drive like a less expensive car with a high mileage, is like Toyota hybrids or Honda hybrids, and do not worry about the values. Another thing is that it's a relatively new car, so I'm having like a 26,174 miles, and I think I'm one of you know the person who had that much miles on this car, among few others, obviously. So, well, the thing is that you have to decide it for yourself, and we don't know also if you will put like a 60,000 miles on it, 100,000 miles on it. What's the maintenance? What's gonna happen? Is there any problem with the electric engine? The whatever engines they have, motors. So it's got a lot of question marks. This car is the amazing, and I can't really say anything bad about this car. So another topic that I can tell you, because I'm a regular guy. I'm not gonna give you all the the technicalities of these cars, and the like a very detailed the view, because there's a lot of videos about that. I'm simply giving you like my honest opinion. I had this car for 26,000 miles already, and I'm gonna tell you, is it worth it? If it's not worth it, because of about each button that you can click, or what it about the menu, and about the all the bells and whistles. You can find the hundreds, maybe thousands of videos. But this is a very honest opinion. This is a good car, and you will enjoy this car, and you will have like a fun time with this car. This is like the dashboard, and again, we have right now. I'm on a trip, so it tells me how many kilowatts per the how many miles per kilowatts I'm driving. So I just started another drive, so it will change the numbers now. But again, it's very intuitive and nice. But let's go and see. Here is the main menus. This is right now we're driving, the engaged. So let's go unbridled, so we can do unbridled. And again, this is really becoming like a really fast, and the steering wheel feeling is a bit different right after I will put them bridled. So what else? And let's go in the menu, and we have here I'll show you what you guys would use every day. There's a lot of stuff that you may or may not want to use every day. So navigation is something that you might want to use every day. However, if you really use like iPhone or Android devices, you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, I don't think you will using this navigation system because of in Apple CarPlay you have everything right there. And going back, so the Bluetooth, you can use the Bluetooth and not really use Apple CarPlay, and you can connect the phones, and you will have like a phone list and stuff. I will not go right now over it while I'm driving, obviously. So radio, I'm not gonna explain what's a radio, guys. So you'll figure it. So and it says tire pressure, so you'll get some information about your tire pressure. I have on a 42 each of those right now. Every, you know, and yeah, I mean, let's go on the Apple CarPlay. Yeah, this is my music up here, and you go and you do the map, and you're in the map, and you can communicate with Siri and say hey or something wherever you want to go. Right now I'm driving at 4.8 miles per kilowatt, but I I I drew this car in a freeway all the time for long miles. So you'll get like on a freeway you'll get like 3.0, 3.2, 2.9, sometimes 2.7 depending on the driving, the miles per kilowatt. So driving in the city, obviously is a more, let's say, efficient for electric cars because you're not really, you know, stressing those electric engines, and it's a pretty pleasant. So interior is great. I love the interior, and you feel like a luxurious here. I have like a glass roof. I'll show you with another, the shot, my glass roof, and every details. And doesn't bothers me. I mean, somebody would say, "Oh, when it's sunny, it might bother you, and you don't have anything to cover." We drew it in, to LA, and at the summertime, and we never had a problem with this. I never feel like, oh, it's so sunny, and I have some sun coming into to problem. So the sun, this glass roof is really really good. I don't know how they did that, but you never feel anything. And the thermal isolation is really good, and it has a really nice, air conditioning system. Maybe it's not like a super best responsive air conditioning system, but it's not for competing here. So you'll be fine. You'll be really fine. So you would never have like a problem of with the air condition, or even getting the heat in the car. It's really nice. So it has this. My car has this heated steering wheel, and heated seats. Honestly, we're in California. I never use that, and I'll be fine even if I wouldn't have it. So this is this. Yeah, I mean the phone charger. I can tell you, if you have a really large phone, it may not fit on a for like a phone charger area, and I'm not always using it, but when needed I know it's there. And I have Apple 14 Max, Pro Max, or some kind of large phone. So it's sort of, when I have it in a case, it's sort of not very intuitive to put it on particular. I need to always make sure that it's aligned correctly on that area. This is pretty much for driving experience, and there I will recommend it. So in a freeway, again, another topic is a freeway experience when you're driving really really like a long miles. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of fun. Obviously you need to drive, so you shouldn't get any tickets because of the driving this car you may get very excited when you push it. It kind of really 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 flies. So if you want to change a line, or if you want to really accelerate, if you want to just get over some the tricky situation, let's say you have a big truck or something, you really want to get away, where you just simply just push it a little bit, and it's you're out of that area. So but you have to you have to be very careful, and you have to keep it under control, because you can't even imagine how fast it can get, like 80, 90 miles per hour, and that's really dangerous. And it's dangerous not only for you, it's for others if you will not be very careful. So otherwise, yeah, great car, great experience, luxurious, like a really, really, noise. It's not noisy. I'm not really. I had a bit less noisy cars, but I definitely wouldn't say that this car is noisy or something about the outside noise coming in. It's sort of like in the middle, in the rank. So otherwise, yeah, I mean, about the front trunk and all this stuff. That's the trunk is pretty large, and I don't. I wouldn't say that that's going to give you the same experience as you would have a truck to load a lot of stuff, but it's pretty good size of the trunk there. So there is no complaints about that. Front, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm using it, because it's sort of a little bit, maybe habits. I find it a little more complicated, just open and close. The the front, and I had some stuff. There's some extra charger, extra plugs, and I leave it alone. I never needed that, so it's sort of like it's good when you travel. You can put the extra stuff, but in everyday life, I wouldn't really use it every day. Just opening and closing it. It's not a fun. It's not that intuitive, rather than regular one. So yeah, this is pretty much. So let's go and continue and see some details, some like details of the car, how it looks inside, how it looks outside. But I'm pretty sure you guys know about that. That's simply the for sharing real life experience. Inside, look, it's pretty spacious, and I don't think that anyone will feel uncomfortable in those seats. I personally really like these seats, and the space here and the passenger side. So we have the big entertainment screen here, and for information, leather premium finish with a nice stitches. Okay, back, not quite as large as the like SUVs, but it's enough space. We had three people traveling here, quite a long distance from San Francisco to LA, and it was pretty comfortable for them. Again, nice. So we have here center console like that, and you can put the cups here. Again, panoramic sunroof. It's pretty comfortable, and we never had any problems with the sun bothering us. I love the design. I really do. I do not think it's a too minimalistic like Tesla's. I'm not a big fan of the Tesla's design, but still, it's very elegant. It has like a two screens, and you guys you know, what these screens do. This part is like a Blue Cruise infrared monitoring. So you get a lot of the driving information in that screen in front of you, and whole the rest in this big screen. So this is you have a phone charger here. This is my glass. And pretty comfortable and large compartment here. This is a parking assist and electronic brake. So yeah, this is pretty simple but pretty elegant. Nice steering wheel, leather stitched, and my car has winter packet, and you can get here like heated seats and heated steering wheel. It's very nice car. Boom. So since you're watching this video and you probably, want to buy or considering to buy this car or simply want to know what is this car about. Um, and I'm not going to compare it to any other cars. I have my opinion about that, but I'm going to talk about this car, and I will tell you that this car is, one of the best in the market in its price range. So, and at the end of the day, you need to know like a real life experience by having some the information how this car feels and looks and drives, and how good is this car, how intuitive this car, how reliable is this car. So yeah, I can tell you guys, if you want to, or if you are considering buying this car, go ahead and buy it. You will not regret it. I guarantee it. You will not regret it. And you will not have like a feeling that, oh, you know what, I should have buy some other competitors car. And I'm talking about the same price range, obviously the same segment. You'll I don't want to compare it like a $200,000 cars or something. It's just like a 65 dollar cars. So here's a few things you need to know. I mean, what you're gonna use here. I mean, it is like you will use a navigation, you will use upper CarPlay, you will use air conditioning, and you will use the switch buttons here to switch the music. And I'm talking about the everyday life. You're gonna use a cruise control. Like if you drive freeways, it's really good and nice, and you will use line detect. Line detect is really nice. I don't know about the Blue Cruise, and I never updated it. I need to bring it to the dealership for them to, you know, um, update it to be capable of the Blue Cruising. So, well, it's as far as I see from the reviews, it's not far from the line detect or line keeping, the modes. Except in the line keeping, you should have like your hands on the steering wheel, and with the Blue Cruise, you simply need to look at the roads. You know, I have more stuff in this car, way more than I need. So this is my honest opinion. I mean, this is again opinion of the owner of the car who has it, for quite a while already, and put a lot of miles. I'm not going to talk. Oh, you can put like the cops here. You see that it's you can put the cop here. So I'm not going to go all these like details to make this video the too long and keep you guys. All right, we arrived to Electrify America charge station. Unfortunately, all the stations are occupied, so we need to wait. So the downside of this electric car on the road is that there is more and more electric cars right now, and the charge stations are you know not enough, especially these the fast charge stations. So many times you might need to wait. Also, it's a case that many times like the oldest stations are not necessarily are the active, so you might have like a out of six you might have only two working, sometimes three. So that's something you should consider. All right, we arrived in charging station, so now it's our turn. We parked the car and let's check. Here's Electrify America charge station, and it has like a 50 kilowatts and 150 kilowatts. That's the one we need. So usually cars should have actually the handshake when you know um, Electrify America station should recognize the car automatically, and we'll see. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not. So this is the charger. So we're gonna pull this plastic down, and we're gonna grab charger. So it's asking me guest member. So unfortunately, it did not recognize automatically, and I have to charge it with a credit card. Okay, and finally, we're in the game. When you hear this noise, it means that it's charging has started. So let's see what we have here. Welcome to continue. And now we're going to put our phone number, so the charger should give us a notification when charging is up to 80%. We submitted our phone number. All right, now we're at the 50%. We're paying 43 cents per kilowatt. Okay, we are in 28% after 6 minutes. So we started with 29 already. So we started with 15%. If we're gonna see now the bar indicator, it already indicates second quarter charging in our charging clock. Okay, let's check back where we are. So after 15 minutes, we are at 46%. Again, we started with 15%, and we have 15 minutes time spent on a charging station. We're already on a 46%, and the speed right now, it's a 98 kilowatt charge speed. Right, we spent 25 minutes, and we're in a 64% of charge. So all right, so we're in 80% mark now. So we spent 36 minutes, and we got charged $24.94, 59 kilowatts, 80%. This is the time, 36, 37 minutes, up to 40 minutes, depending on the speed. And right now, speed dropped in 42 kilowatts from 122, then 98, then 72. So that's a time you should consider when you're stopping if you really want to get the charge. Charging more than 80% doesn't really make sense because of, the kilowatts dropped so much, it will take forever. What can I say? Charging process is not the fun compared to the regular cars when you're gonna stop in a gas station, simply get a pump, and after 3-5 minutes you're on your way. Here you definitely need to wait. You have to plan. You have to just figure out, what you're gonna do during all this time, because we already in the 22 minutes, 59%. So for these 22 minutes, usually those charging stations are, they're around shopping malls, and you always have a time to go and have a coffee and shop around. If you're on a long road, you have to plan your trip. That's sort of like a downside, but you can get used to it. You will plan your trip. You would know that you should stop in that the charging station. But again, many charging stations are more and more busy right now. So the electric cars are way more than the charging stations are around. So we always have somebody waiting. So since I'm charging now for these 23 minutes, I already have 3 cars, were waiting for their charge stations. Well, usually if you have like cars charging, so you might well wait about 40-45 minutes for somebody to come back when they fully charge. No, not even fully, about 80 up to 80%. We have to make sure that we're not really charging up to 80% in those charge stations, because of the charge speed after 80% is really, really slow. You might end up spending like a couple hours for the last 20 minutes. So it's not efficient. It's not recommended. I don't think anybody does, unless you're going with the long shopping and leaving the car for quite a long time. So if you have any questions, please, like write it below, and I will be able to, I'll be happy to answer your questions. So otherwise, yeah, this is pretty much, this is a nice car, and it's full, almost like you have everything. It's fully loaded, and it's really good. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We're going to have videos about the cars, drones, computers, phones, travel, everything that ordinary person would like to purchase or experience, so we could share our honest experience and opinion with you.